morning, students. So, we'll be starting with our next subject, that is game programming. Now, game programming basically is a subject of combination of game as well as the programming, what has been done in the backend for that game processing. So, first, we'll be only going with the introduction of game, what is game used for, what are the genres for games, how games are automated, that is 2D and 3D resolutions. All those we'll be looking for, and afterwards we'll be moving on to the actual coding or the processing formats of game programming. So moving on, when we talk about game can be in game, what comes is its structure or dynamics, what is changing and what is the actual architecture of the game. Not a simple question. Things we find in some games is objectives and goals, outcomes, especially variable results. Every time we play a game, what happens is we get a different result as well as uncertainty. We cannot decide whether we can win or lose. Rules and structures. Every game will have its different rules for playing as well as it will have a different structural format. As well as stories. It can be like an adventure purpose also. So a game is a magical circle. A magical circle means it will every time have something different into it. Now, so what makes a game fun? So whenever we talk about a game, what is actually making it a fun? Why do people always feel like to play the game every time? That is applying natural theory of fun activity. Fun activity means every time creating something new, that is spatial reasoning, pattern recognition and social interaction. So all those things are taken into consideration. Spatial reasoning means certain coordinate points are taken into consideration to make a proper format of that combination of coordinates so that people can identify those games. As well as pattern recognition, there will be different patterns in which a game can be played. That is, so there are many examples of games like Candy Crush, then you have certain shooter games. All those games have different patterns through which that game can be recognized. Social interaction, here the social interaction what is there is people play it online, offline. All those things also come into consideration when we talk about a fun activity game. Now, applying concrete rules, there are certain rules which are achievable on particular games, that is multiple clear achievable goals. Multiple clear achievable goals means whether we are winning or losing, there will be a certain goal on which we can perform those, on which we can play that game. The illusion of choice. Illusion of choice means further process we are not knowing, we are just playing in a particular duration of time. We do not know, we just make an illusion that yes, further this would be there, further that would be there. So certain illusions are created which are imaginary. We do not know certainties, as uncertainties are always there when we play a game. Clear punishments and rewards. You do not have to pay something hard cash when you talk about punishments here in the games. And rewards are also like that. You get 5 points, you get 5 stars, which you can redeem in the further game. All such clear punishments and rewards are also being given. Many great games have all these components, and are there other rules? Yes, there are certain other rules also which are being applied on the games. There are, that is, terms and conditions are there. So mechanics, now how does a particular thing work mechanically? Before a single line of code is written, the mechanics that will be used by the game should be well thought out and documented. Before coding is done, I need to decide that what mechanics I have to apply on my game so that my game will work according to that format. So this includes, mechanic include the programming language, the programming libraries, engines, tools, then the hardware required available, the logical programming components, the storage retrieval initialization methods, the interfaces, that is software and hardware supported. So programming languages, any language, C, C++, Java, .NET, whatever, so that is C sharp, web programming, all those things, HTML, many Unity, all such programming languages can be considered when I am talking about my game development. So next is the programming libraries. What frameworks do I have? Now engine here means this is the topic which you are going to learn throughout this chapter also. Engine here means, suppose I am taking an example of a railway train. So train has a first engine which is going to take the whole train to a direction. So you require one engine and you require different tools to make that engine work according to the direction. So all such things are also taken into consideration when we talk about mechanics. Hardware required, I require proper hardware, that is my CPU storage should be this much, I should have proper mouse, I should have particular keyboard. Then the logical programming components. Logics means the algorithms which can be applied. Then next is storage retrieval and initialization. Storage means I require a proper storage in which my data can be stored, that is database. Next is a retrieval. Retrieval means whenever I need that data back again, when you need a backup, you can retrieve it from that particular storage also. And initializing the value, when it is first being stored, it needs to be initialized so that it has some identification. The interface, that is software and hardware support. So every interface of a game program, whichever game it is, will have a different software, that is an interface, as well as hardware. Next is dynamics. So before a single line of code is written, the dynamics that will be used by the game should be well thought and documented. So what can be the dynamics? The domain of the game. Domain means on which language it will be developed. The players in the game. So now there is a trend of playing Ludo. So how Ludo has two players, it has four players, or it can be only played between the computer and one user. So all such things are taken into consideration when we talk about the game. The rules of the games. Everyone can play in, if four people are there, four people are going to play one single series of game. If four people are not there, the game will not work. So such rules are also applied. The objects in the game. Objects means it's not necessary every game will have the same. Some will have a snake, some will have a gun shooter, some will have a proper dice, and some will have a snake and ladder. There will be a chess format. Then different formats will be there, that is objects will be there for the game. Next is aesthetics. Before a single line of code is written, the aesthetics that will be used by the game should be well thought and documented. So when we are talking, see, first is mechanics, second one is dynamics, and third one is aesthetics. All these things before writing the code are only taken into consideration, thought properly, and then documented. So the art bible, which should contain every detail of the look of the game, will come out of its development area. This includes color palette, physical looks of for all players, lighting plots and schemes. Now color palette is color gradations in the game, then physical looks for players. So players will have different types of clothes, they will have different types of attires. All such things are taken into consideration when we talk about the physical looks of the player. Lighting plots means which light shadings will be there when certain game changes its levels. Schemes, whatever light schemes have been given, that is RGB scheme, then white background scheme, then you have no background scheme. All such schemes are also being provided, that is aesthetics. The aesthetics can be broken up into more distinct components, 8 forms of fun. The aesthetics can be not only the color gradations, and it can be divided into 8 forms, that is sensation, then fantasy, narrative, challenge, expression. Now, genres, the mechanical genres, dynamic genres, and aesthetic genres. So before deciding the code, genres which comes is the generation what we are going to use, the process what we are going to use related to mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. So the first one is iPhone games, C++ game, and Quake engine. So mechanical generation decides what real time system do I want to my game to run. The next is dynamic. See, dynamic keeps on changing. It can be a shooter game, it can be a strategy, it can be a fun activity. All such things are there in the dynamics. Now, aesthetic generation means fantasy. It can be only depending on the illusions or imaginary world. Then that is science fi, that is depending on artificial intelligence technologies. Horror survival means there's one cage in which you have a particular miracle or something like that, searching for it. All such things are in aesthetics. So, adventure. When I talk about adventure, subgenres include text based adventure and graphical adventure. That is, King Quest is one example by Sierra. Sierra is the development engine for King's Quest. Action, superset of all other actions oriented genres, typed by fast paced combat and movement. Space War, Pong, and Space Invaders helped define the genre. The genres, what they do is they are the typical adventure and graphical based when you talk about. Then the next is action one. First one was adventure, second one is action. Actions specify the superset of actions oriented by the genre, type of phase, patch, combat, and movement. So all those typed phase, fast, packed, combat, and movement. Every movement and a move is being taken and somewhere saved so that you have further processing of your game. So what are the examples? That is Space War, Pong, Space Invaders help define the genre. The next is action adventure. So there are many different examples of action adventure. Platformer is Super Mario and all sorts, which modern definition has expanded to include 3D. Here we can talk about 2D as well as 3D also. It's not compulsory that we have normal mobile system games only. Then there can be fighting games, first person shooter games, that is in 3D. Then you have real-time strategies, RTS games. Then turn-based strategies, that is real-time strategy games. XCOM, Master of Orion, Jagged Alliance are standouts of this genre. Then sports games, that is cricket, football, chess, all such things are taken into sports. Rhythm. Now rhythm here means guitar playing, any music player games, all such games can come in the rhythm. Next is puzzle. Puzzle is now matching, logic, strategy, luck, all such time element things are considered into puzzle. Next is mini games. Mini games is, that is Mario Party and Wario War are such popular games in this mini games. Short games means which has a small context and it can be same loop is being run every time. Next is 2D and 3D. The term 2D and 3D are used to indicate dimensions. Dimensions means when I'm talking about x and y axis, this is just an example, do not go into actual theory. When I'm talking about x and y axis, if I talk about 2D, the dimension for my object will be only x and y axis, that is only my height and the width. But when I talk about 3D, it will be height, width, as well as the mass of my particular object. So it, when we talk about 2D, it will be x and y axis. When we talk about 3D, it will be x, y, z axis. So the term 2D and 3D are used to indicate dimensions on from which sides we can check the particular object. A dimension is an any measurable spatial extent such as length, breadth, height, depth, width, thickness, etc. All these components are taken into consideration when we talk about a 2D or 3D object. Essentially, dimensions indicate any of all sides of an object such as height and width and allows us to measure them. When we talk about only 2D objects, it will have height and width. When we talk about 3D objects, it can be breadth, then the depth, width, or the thickness. Now, the term 2D stands for two-dimensional, only two dimensions of my object, whereas 3D stands for three-dimensional, three dimensions of my object when it moves. 2D represents an object is just two dimensions, while 3D represents in three dimensions. So it is best to think of with an example. A car has three dimensions. In fact, everything in our reality is three dimensional. Everything till now, whatever we are going through, is three dimensional, as well as, however, a photograph of a car or a drawing of a car has two dimensions. We can just check the height and the width. We cannot go in depth of that car and check whatever is there inside or not. In the photo or drawing, only one can only see the measure length and height, whereas the depth and width is indistinguishable. Whenever I am taking a photograph, that time your width as well as your height only can be decided. Depth cannot be decided, thickness cannot be decided. In mathematics and physics, 2D is defined as having two axes to plot, usually x and y axis. These axes are indicative of two aspects on the same plane, which can be plotted on the Cartesian coordinate system. Similarly, 3D indicates three aspects which are plotted on x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. When referring to geometry, a line drawn on a sheet of paper is 1D. Whatever line, one single line if you are drawing, it will be one dimensional, which means that it has no aspects, which means that it only has aspect, that is length, whereas shapes such as rectangle, square, triangle, polygon, etc. are 2D, which means they have two aspects, that is height and length. While we talk about shapes like cylinder, sphere, cube, pyramid, prism, etc. are considered to be 3D as they have height, they have length and third aspect, that is depth. Additionally, the term 2D and 3D are also often used to refer to graphic image technology such as photography, animation, computer graphics. 3D movies are all the rage of these days. These represent characters and events in the movies as three-dimensional, which is more like how we would perceive perceive real life rather than the traditional flat images of 2D. Nowadays we have 3D movies also, which require a film, which requires a particular glass. When we apply it on our eyes, we see that particular object moving in front of our eyes itself, which is not actually, but it's a 3D image. Now what is comparison of 2D and 3D? So full form of 2D is two-dimensional, 3D is three-dimensional. Definition: represents an object with just two dimensions, that is length and height. Represents an object with three dimensions, length, width and height. Representation of 2D image is flat and 3D image is lifelike. We see it popping up and in front of our eyes. Aspects: length and height, no depth, width cannot be defined. Length, width and height all can be defined in 3D. Mathematics, when we talk it as logically, take it as logically, it can have on 2D can have x and y axis, 3D can have the x, y and z axis. Geometry, when I talk about 2D objects, it will be rectangle, square, triangle and polygon. When we talk about 3D objects, it can be cylinder, sphere, cube, pyramid and prism. So we'll stop here for this particular thing. The introduction, why it is given, is the reason for giving you the introduction of this chapter is, so we'll stop here. And the introduction, why it is given, is so that you can understand what is game programming rather than just moving to the theory and mathematics which is there. It's easy if you understand the subject and then go through it, because it's somewhere the weightage of the topics which is there is more higher level. So better understand. If you do not understand anything, please ask. This is just not a topic of theory, it has all logics as well. So just go through that topics on that particular day itself to clear the doubts. Thank you.